Vragen te stellen over zijn films. Geef een warm applaus voor Mr. Ik ben het al bijna vergeten.
William Sadler.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome William Sadler. Hello.
Hello. You're probably wondering why I've asked you here. I'm William Sadler, that actor guy. Were there questions? Were there things that you guys wanted to know about? Any off the top of your head?
Oh yeah.
Anyone? Sir. Hello. Kenny?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I've seen you in many marvelous movies and I like your acting.
Thank you.
And I was just surprised that he said that you are a comedian.
And not a banjo, not a banjo player.
I started out as, I played the banjo
Yeah.
and told jokes in Buffalo when I was in high school. I was Banjo Bill Sadler. And terrible jokes.
Oh, come on, you must remember some of your routine. Come on.
Say, my brother bought a French car. Yeah, he had de Gaulle to buy a French car. And I drove it around. I took my mom for a ride, and she put this map on. She was holding the map on her lap, and she had so many varicose veins, I couldn't tell where the map ended and her legs began. So we drove 150 miles in vain. See? Awful.
It's good, it's
Terrible
good,
jokes.
it's good.
So that's why I became an actor. The writing got better as soon as other people did it.
But you're often cast as a bad guy. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's a great mystery. Because I'm one of the nicest people I know, but I end up... No, I am. I'm a decent human. I love dogs and babies and cheese. But I got to Hollywood, and part of it is I think they look for good actors to play the bad guys because you can't have a big hero unless you've got a really terrible villain. You know, I mean, you can't have James Bond without Dr. No, Goldfinger or something. You need an iconic sort of bad guy, Anthony Hopkins size bad guy, in order to, give James Bond somebody to fight against. So like in the Die Hard movies, they started with Alan Rickman. I think I'm the only one who wasn't English. Alan Rickman and Jeremy Irons was after me, right? But it's fun to play bad guys. I don't know if you've ever, any of you've ever tried it. You don't have to be honest. You don't have to be virtuous. You can be as bad as you want.
But in Die Hard 2, where you play Colonel Stewart, if I remember correctly, he's not really that bad a bad guy. He's basically a fine military leader. He just plays for the wrong side.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Colonel Stewart he's brave, courageous, smart, funny. He's got all these wonderful attributes. Looks good naked.
Yeah.
He's just playing for the wrong team. So I don't know. I'm not sure why I've spent so much time playing bad people. I enjoy it. It's fun to be bad.
Oh, Jeremy Irons liked it as well, so.
Yeah. No, it is fun. You don't want to get typecast that way. Now when I play bad guys, it's usually tempered with, he's still killing people, but it's because he loves his daughter. Or, it's like there's some noble reason. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What else? Any specific questions about specific roles? Yes?
I actually wanted to ask a question about Roswell, because I feel like at the time there wasn't all that much for young adults and not that much sci-fi on TV either. So I was wondering if at the time you had a feeling you were doing something fresh and new, or how was it to film that at that time?
I thought, I wasn't aware of, there was other sci-fi around. I mean, those, the Star Trek things were going on at the same time. But I liked Roswell, the series, she was asking about the series Roswell.
Roswell, it was called Roswell High in England.
Roswell High.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I've never done a series before, and I found it really fun. Every week they hand you a new script and your character, and you're like, wow, now he has a girlfriend. The next week it's like, with each script, something new happens in his life. There's like a new facet to the character. So it stayed interesting for me. In the whole first season, he's the sheriff of this town, and he's chasing these aliens. He knows they're here, and he can't prove that they're aliens. And he's the villain. He's the biggest problem they have. And at the end of the first season, they save his son's life. And he spends the whole second season protecting them. He flips allegiance. And he realizes they are aliens, and they need to be protected. They're good people. So it was, and then in the third season, he gets fired for protecting them, and ends up really lost. And he loses his job. He does something noble and pays for it at the end. So. But I enjoyed that. That's what was fun about it. The chapter kept turning, That character had an arc, which made it fun. Yes?
I have a question about Shawshank Redemption.
Yes?
Regardless of your other work, which was fantastic, I thought that Shawshank Redemption, not only your performance, but the other actors' performances were of such a high level. What do you remember about shooting Shawshank Redemption, and how come the quality of the acting was so strong?
Well, two things, I think. First, the writing was really strong. Everybody who read the script wanted to do it. Everybody. Here's a little known fact. Tom Cruise wanted to do Tim Robbins' part. And we were doing table reads of the script at Castle Rock with Tom Cruise before. And Frank Darabont, the director, didn't want Tom to do it. Because it would have been a Tom Cruise, but it would have been a very different movie. And Tom Cruise didn't want to do it because Frank Darabont had never directed before. He was a first-time director, and he thought, he's going to fuck it up and make a terrible movie, And in fact, at one point, Rob Reiner, the head of Castle Rock, offered Frank Darabont $2 million, Frank told me, to not direct it. I'll pay you not to direct this movie. So give it to me so I can direct this. He had just done Stand By Me, which was another Stephen King story, right? Anyway, it was a very strong script. It was a very strong story. And the second thing was, they cast theater actors. The whole cast was, we had all done a lot of movies and things, but we'd all started in New York. We were all theater actors. So there was an ensemble. We knew how to play as a team rather than, I'm the star. It's my scene and you people are all just scenery. There was never, like the scenes around the table, James Whitmore says a line and Morgan Freeman throws it back and it bounces around. You watch it bounce around the room and everybody brought their A game. Everybody stepped up to play. Frank says it's like catching lightning in a bottle. The movie. So many things could have gone wrong that didn't, that went right. So I'm just grateful that it all went down the way it did. Yes?
Two things. How many L's are in there? How many L's are there in your name? And the second is,
Yes.
when was the last time you played Twister?
I couldn't play Twister now if you paid me.
You could play
$8
Twister Dead.
I'm not as limber. He's referring to the poster behind me that has 3 L's in William. Here's the Dutch spelling.
No. It could have been French, but not the Dutch spelling. No. Must have been a real moron who did that one. So.
Did you have a question, Camille?
Do you want a Roswell movie?
Do I want a Roswell movie? Yes.
Yes.
I'd love a Roswell movie. I think it would be great. We're all a little older now.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Catherine
You can't call it
High.
Roswell High. I mean.
No.
They're not. Those kids aren't in high school. Yes? Yes?
I think
No, go ahead.
I've seen you in Roswell, and I know you since then. And thank you. So I knew you since Roswell, and
Yeah.
I've seen so many good things with you. You often play little roles, but interesting roles, but with a little minute on screen, like the president in Iron Man or the father in Man on the Ledge. You like those little roles, but with interesting stories.
Do I like playing little roles?
Yeah,
No.
interesting.
No.
No, I understand what you're saying. It happens as you get older. For men and for women, I think the roles often get smaller. Hopefully, you say yes to the ones that are interesting. It's not,
You say yes to.
you say
many of them.
you say yes to the ones that are, he really has something to do. It's important, that's fun to play. But it is true though. As you get older, you play the father, then you play the grandfather, then you play the crazy uncle, then kind of goes like that.
You wouldn't want to get typecast as a crazy uncle, would you?
No.
You have a question?
No, I've already been typecast. William Sadler, boy meets girl, boy gets girl, boy dismembers girl.
Huh?
Yes.
Isn't it the case that in both movies... don't worry, I'll speak loud enough.
That's okay.
Okay, well, isn't it the case in both movies that were just mentioned that they said, well, we only have like 4 minutes for this character. Let's just take William Sadler, it's going to be finished. Just him there and half the story is told.
I guess so. I mean, you have to make if you want to make it...
Because I
You
said
sort of
before...
you feel like a strong flavor. It doesn't take
Yes,
much
I said
cardamom
before when
to
you were in Man
flavor
on
the
an
whole
Edge.
soup.
When-
So
yeah.
you only take...
When you were in Man on a Ledge,
Yeah.
I saw you come in just with, the room service, and it's like, yeah, sure.
I know, you said it ruined
Yeah,
the movie for you.
he's just there, just bringing room service. Nothing else
I'm
gonna
sorry.
happen. Yeah.
I tried to be anonymous.
Nah, it's never gonna
It
happen.
was like, people say, no, it's going to blow up the building or something,
Yeah.
right? It's up to something.
We have a question over here.
Yes, where?
Hi sir, good to have you here.
Thank you.
I was wondering, what's the best acting advice you ever got from a colleague of yours? Maybe somebody you worked with or somebody you admire?
I've gotten some good advice over the years. Mostly, I think, from watching. I loved watching Morgan Freeman close up when he was working. He would sit. This is a silly thing to talk about, but between takes on a movie, there are hours and hours and hours and hours to kill, right? When they don't, we're going to shoot your thing later, or setting up the lights, setting up the thing. There's just massive pieces of time when you're just waiting. What I learned from him is he would sit like a Buddha. He would sit in his chair on the set and conserve his energy so that when the moment came, when the time came, he was completely ready and had enough energy. You know, he hadn't pissed it away playing catch or telling jokes or, you know, all the rest of it. That sounds like a funny piece of acting advice. But one of the things I learned on Die Hard 2 was that you're only, in a movie like that, where there are truckloads of equipment and hundreds of people in the crew and lights and so on and so on. I'm only responsible for that tiny little moment between when they say action and when they say cut. My part of it is this big. It's really important, but it's only that big. And all of the rest of it is nonsense. I know it's important. I know they got to do it. I give them plenty of time and respect, but I try not to get distracted by the circus, you know, this huge circus. You try to put blinders on, and because if I get that wrong, even if it's just 20 seconds worth of film, if I get that wrong, it doesn't matter how many trucks you have. It doesn't matter. We could spend all the money in the world on scenery. If that human thing doesn't happen, you don't have a movie. You know, nobody's going to care. So, I don't know if that answers your question. The only other advice I ever give actors is go do theater. Learn. I spent years and years and years. I spent the first 15 years doing theater in New York, regional and Broadway, because it's an actor's. That's really an actor's. You carry the whole thing. If it's going to be if something exciting is going to happen in this room in the next 2 hours, the actors are going to make it occur right in front of your eyes. And if it goes south, there's no safety net, there's no yelling cut, there's no let's try that again, you know. And when you get to the movies, the movies is a lousy place to learn to act. It really, television is too. Because you're only required to do like this one little moment. And you meet the woman who's playing your wife the morning that you're going to shoot the big scene, and you run it through a couple of times and then you shoot it. There's no rehearsal. So if you don't have that bag of tricks, if you don't have the chops from carrying it yourself, if you don't know how to cook it up, they can't help you. You know, they don't have time to help you. In television, it's moving too fast. It's show up, hit it, and we're out of here. We're on to the next shot and on the next scene. You know. So theater. I always suggest people do theater. Anything else?
I'm afraid that's all we have time for. Would you believe, William, we're half hour is already up?
Now, you all signed up to get pictures taken with me.
Been there, done that. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, thank you.
William Sadler.
She gave me chocolate.
Thank you.
Yes. I give it.